Hi everyone, I just wanted to give you a quick video to explain why we use the eagle in our logo, why I chose the eagle to be in our logo. Lots of people have asked me over the years, and I just thought it was nice to be able to explain the reasoning behind it. I did think about it lots, because when you start something and you create a logo, it's nice to have something that represents what you feel and what you want to try and put across. So the first thing for me, and please don't think I'm being critical of anyone else's logo or anyone else's symbolism. I just want to explain my thinking, and that's certainly not being critical of anyone else. But the first thing I wanted to make sure that I didn't have any salivating pit bulls or crazy, insane-looking creatures on our logo, because that's certainly not something I wanted to try and promote or put across to people. I didn't really want to have any mystical creatures, dragons, griffins, unicorns, because I just think with mythical creatures, it's very easy to put any characteristics on them. Who knows whether they're correct or incorrect? It's a mythical creature after all. It can be anything you want it to be. I didn't want any mystical creatures either, any old wise-looking gurus or figureheads. I just wanted it to be something that was a very straightforward representation. Now, the eagle, these things that I'm going to talk about are really the way I see the eagle. And obviously, some of these things are my perceptions, because some of them I can't actually know. I mean, eagles can't communicate with us, can they? So, and also many of these characteristics would apply to lots of wild animals. So I couldn't have chosen any other wild animal for that particular characteristic. So I'm not saying everything that I mentioned is completely unique to eagles, but in my opinion, the eagle does sort of encapsulate nicely all of these things. So let's go through some of the attributes that I personally attribute to the eagles. I think they have strength. I think they appear strong. They look majestic. They look confident. They just look so strong. It gives that complete strong appearance whether you see an eagle standing with its wings folded, or whether you see it in flight with its wings out. It gives the appearance of strength, whether it's stationary or whether it's in action. I always think that eagles represent independence, no reliance on others, no care of anyone else's opinions. And obviously opinions and whatever are things that all creatures tend to have. This lack of caring about anything else's opinion. All wild creatures, all creatures other than humans really, would have this complete disregard to anyone else's opinion. But it's something that I do like, and I think it's really important. You never see eagles flocking, do you? You never see a flock of eagles. They're always independent, always happy to work themselves. They're efficient. They have no wasted actions. I can't ever think of any wildlife program where I've seen where an eagle is just passing time. It's always on something. It's always looking for the next task. It's always got something that it needs to be doing and wants to be doing. And I like that. I think that's a really, really good thing to have as a characteristic. It has a purpose, that whether they're hunting for food, whether they're nest building for their young, whether they're feeding their young, whatever it is, whatever they're doing, if they're preening even, if they're looking after their feathers, there's a good reason for it. They're always on purpose. There's always something that it's doing. They're always busy with something. The way I see eagles also is they have an interdependence. Now, interdependence is different to independence. Interdependence, in my opinion, is this ability to rely on other things around you that will happen. For instance, they rely on there being enough creatures around for them to prey on, for them to to eat and use as food. So obviously they are dependent on the food source, but it's a sort of relaxed interdependence, isn't it? You know, all wild creatures have this interdependence where they know their place in nature and they fit in with it without strain or pressure. Eagles avoid conflict, don't they? You very rarely see eagles in conflict with each other unless it's really important, unless it's either fighting over a mate or protecting their young or protecting a food source that they have that they've hunted down. But they don't have any conflict for the sake of conflict. We have a lot of buzzards flying around here. I know that's different for eagles. But the buzzards are often attacked by crows. And I guess it's because the buzzards are getting near to crows' nests and the crows are protecting their young. But the buzzards never retaliate. They just flap their wings and go a bit higher and soar off. And they've got this very calm and placid way of dealing with the crow who wants conflict, wants to shout at them and get them away from their nest. And I love that. The way I see eagles, and this perhaps is one of the perceptions that I put onto the bird, is that they have a live and let live approach. Right, so they're quite happy for other creatures to get on with whatever they're doing, other eagles even, and they just get on with their own lives. They don't busy themselves with other people's, with what's going on with other people. And again, I think that's one of the attributes of pretty much all animals except humans. Eagles will defend their family against attack, and I love this. This is something that I think is so important. There, defend your family, look after your group, and how you define your family is entirely up to you. Isn't it? It can be your mum, dad, brothers and sisters, and your siblings, aunts, uncles, grandparents, whatever. Or it can be a family that you've chosen to be part of. You know, like a group like the Blackbelt Academy. That's a family, isn't it? You've chosen to be part of that. So, you know, I love the fact that eagles defend their family, they look after each other. They rear their young with 100% focus. And I think that this is really important. This is something that I love. It frustrates me quite a lot when I see people not rearing their young with focus, with intent, with the knowledge that every single thing that they do will have some effect on their children. Now, believe me, I'm certainly not a perfect parent, and I've done lots of things that are not ideal for my children to see or learn from or whatever. But what I've always tried to do is be aware of what's happening and try to get that back on track and get it the way I want it to be. So if my focus has gone off sometimes, or I've not really paid attention to it, I've done my very best to get it back. And you know, I'm certainly not a believer that you have to give up your whole life in order to raise your children, because you know, often we have children when we're young and we've got lots of our life to live still. But you must, I think, put everything that you can into raising those children to be the best individuals they can be. And the next point I'll get is that eagles soar alone. You know, and this is one of the things that you could argue, he's only thinking that, that's what he believes about eagles. But I can see an eagle in the sky and think, I bet his mind is free, I bet he's completely relaxed, I bet he's just enjoying being an eagle. You know, his mind isn't cluttered, it's not full of chatter all the time. And I think that's really nice. You know, compare an eagle to a chicken who's on the ground scratching around with all its flock members and chattering away, you know, scratching and chattering all the time. You know, you've probably all heard the expression that it's difficult to soar like an eagle when you spend all your time on the ground with turkeys. And that's an interesting thing to think about as well. There's a story that they call it the come to the edge story, Again, I don't really know how true this is, but I love the story, and I love the way that it helps my image of eagles. You know, when the eagles rear their young and they've got feathers and they're ready to leave the nest, you know, the mother eagle encourages them to come to the edge of the nest. You know, and the chicks look over the edge, and you know, they're like, oh my God, this is, you know, and at the right time when the mother and the father know that it's right and they can deal with it, they flick them over the edge, and they just nudge them over into the air, and the chicks have to fly, don't they? You know, they're forced into the air, and they have to fly. And I think that's a lovely story. I'm not 100% sure that it's absolutely accurate, but I love the concept, and I love the idea that, you know, as parents, we need to take our children to the edge and say, oh, you're ready to fly now. I believe in you, and it's time for us to see if you can fly. Now, I think maybe throwing them out of the nest, which maybe is at the top of a tall tree or on a cliff edge, maybe a bit extreme. You can always do things a bit more gently, but you get the idea of the process. And the last thing that I love about eagles is that they partner for life unless one of them dies. I think that's nice. I think it's a nice thing to do. Alright, so as soon as I finish recording this, I'm sure to think of something else that I wish I'd included. But that's it for now. I hope that explains to you why we use the eagle logo, or why I have an eagle in my logo. Alright, and I just want you to know that it wasn't something that, oh, that looks nice, we'll include it. You know, I did actually think about it and decide what we want to have as our symbol. Alright, thanks a lot, and I hope it's been interesting for you.